close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
All right, welcome everyone to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday, everyone. And we're joined today by Tim O'Connor, who is hosting Thursdays now. Just had his first solo day yesterday, survived it. We haven't booted him off the air yet.
Man, I appreciate that. My self-grading, I give myself like a D-, but luckily for me, mainstream media is getting an F. So I was at least as good as that.
But by comparison, thank you, mainstream media, for setting the bar so low and making Tim look good by comparison. Good job, guys. Yeah, but no, you made it. You did fine. It's good. It's good. But you know, we do have a nice full Friday with a bunch of news, a few different things to talk about today. So we'll definitely get to a handful of different topics, but this is a live show today. So that means that you, the listener, can call in to give us a call, 866-552-1009. That's 866-552-1009. That's our 800 number. You could also call the local number, 585-346-3000 too, if you want to call that one. Also, I never understood that. Shout out down the line to our friends over at WACK out in Newark and WENI, the Patriot down in Southern Tier. Appreciate y'all listening here as well, and our online friends too. Leave your comments.
Don't forget the Voice of Liberty, WYSL 1040 AM in Rochester.
That's right. Yeah, WYSL. And so we're here live on WYSL until 1 o'clock. So again, give us a call. 866-552-1009. And we're talking about, well, the first thing we're going to talk about is that there's a new federal holiday, Juneteenth, which I actually like as a holiday. I like as a holiday. There's only like one sort of issue that I don't like about how the government did this, which I'll get to. But Juneteenth, if you don't know what it is, basically it's the day in Texas where the African Americans living there, the slaves living there, figured out that emancipation had happened, right? So it's the acknowledgement and the celebration of freedom in that area. So it started down in Texas, and now it's kind of become more of a national thing. Over the last few years, it started to pick up a little bit. There's been Juneteenth celebrations in Rochester for a while now. Down in Texas, it used to be was a much bigger thing for the last several decades, as I understand it, and it's starting to become more of a national thing over the last few years. And now the federal government is recognizing Juneteenth as a federal holiday. So I like that. I like it as a holiday, though. I think it's a good thing for us to recognize the actual ending of slavery, not the government decree ending slavery, because there's the Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th Amendment, all that stuff. But when people realized that it happened.
Frankly, I'm in the boat of why wasn't this a holiday before now? Why are we fighting over this issue? Why are we being forced by the media and our political parties and this constant duopolistic argument? Like, why isn't it a holiday already? There's a little naming issue with it that I think may have some valid critique, like maybe calling it Independence Day when we have the July 4th thing. There's a little bit of an issue that we could argue over, but the reality
you're going to do that. All right. So yes, let's say the full name of the holiday, right? Like, what was the federal government calling it? It is I'll see if I can pull it up, the Juneteenth, like, Day of Independence or something. Come on, do you really care about that?
In a way, really no, I don't. What I'm concerned about is that that's the only valid criticism of it that I see. But the more important valid criticisms is that it wasn't already a national holiday. And it leads into this issue of what I call issue preservation. Okay, when we talk about the government pointing at problems and saying, all right, we're going to fix that later. We're going to fix that later. And what they do is keep us in this mindset that we need to be arguing over these things, and they never solve the problem. So maybe right now they're solving the problem. And I think the naming issue, right, is going to go away pretty quickly. Let's just enjoy Juneteenth. Let's just recognize that the issue of slavery was an abhorrent piece of our past, and that we can move forward together with this great deal. Like, I'm going to try to do something for Juneteenth. I'm sure we'll involve drinking beer on a Saturday. I got no problems with that. Like, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, like again, I think it's a good thing. Again, the recognition of like the the ending of like America's most abhorrent institution is great. So I don't think anyone's going to call it like, again, I can't find the name of it now, the Juneteenth Independence, whatever it is. But to be honest, like I like that stuff. Like he got like a Charlie Cook saying that's divisive, or whatever his name is. Candace Owens saying like they're gonna celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. Man, like no one's taking away July 4th. Like it's a different type of holiday. It's a different type of independence. Like we can do both. We can recognize both of these things at the same time. 1776 independence is different than the 1865 independence, and we can celebrate the ending of slavery and the destruction of an institution that like turned people into property. Everyone's just going to call it Juneteenth. They're like, no one's like, this is a replacement for Independence Day. I mean, like, I'm sure some people do. And I always read like the, Frederick Douglass, what to a slave is the 4th of July. Like thinking about that stuff's important, but for your average American, this ain't going to do this. Now, again, I do have like two issues with this. So one, and you kind of hinted at this, it's like, this is a way to virtue signal without actually solving some of the underlying problems that exist. Like, oh, look, see, we're recognizing Juneteenth. That means we're so woke and progressive. And then wait, guys, no. Police reform, the other discriminatory practices that the government does. Like, take care of that stuff. That's the problem. I
think that you and I have some, like, we're in the same zone here. Like when we take a look at zoning laws, they haven't fixed zoning laws. Okay. They haven't fixed any of that stuff. And guys, I'm a big fan of Thomas Massie. He's actually like very libertarian minded kind of guy, but he came out against the name of Juneteenth because of this Independence Day and the potential that it's going to be used to divide us. So he's right. Every single chance the government gets and the mainstream media gets, they do seek to divide us. But there's no reason to stand against Juneteenth. Let's just celebrate it. Let's just do our best. And guys, I'm talking to my conservative friends out there, celebrating the end of slavery and the fact that people realize I think it was like 3-4 years after that they realized that they were actually free human beings. I think that that's a big deal. I'm totally 100% in support of, hey, every day, guys, could be a federal holiday. That could be their only job, as far as I'm concerned, is coming up with a creative holiday name for every single day, and then they'd leave us all alone.
If that's what they did, and then they didn't take our money to do it, like, oh, cool, yeah, like there we go. That's the solution there. Okay, I did find it because Thomas Massey's been tweeting about it today. He's a Juneteenth, National Independence Day. Says that's to divide us. Listen, I don't care about that. I put up a comment online too. We got a comment from Tony DeRazio, says, I'm in full support of celebrating Juneteenth and Independence Day. I really do wish they gave us more than a day's notice. And it's kind of funny because the part I don't like about this, at least how it was rolled out this year, is they wanted to do this before Juneteenth, recognize the holiday, right? So now a big chunk of the federal government and any government employees is like, oh, cool, federal holiday, Friday's off, so we have 2 days notice. Now, like, if you plan to do any business today, you're out of luck, guys. They're like, oh, cool, new holiday, we're done. All right, we're off. Surprise. No, you thought you're going to do stuff today? You were wrong, buddy.
Let's just admit that the government's horrible at even being good and slathering themselves in virtue. They're not even good at that, like they just ruin it.
No, I mean exactly. That's what they do half the time. But it's just like that. The rollout of it though, just absolutely terrible. So do federal employees really need another holiday? No, probably not. We could probably recognize it without giving another paid day off.
Right.
And then doing it with 2 days notice.
Yeah, that's one of the points. Again, Thomas Massie, I like the way that he thinks. I like the way that he presents himself. So that's one of the points that Massie makes, is like federal employees already have 11 paid holidays. The average private sector employee only has 8. So now we're going to make federal employees getting 12 paid holidays. And I'm sure private industry is just going to be like, well, we're sticking with our 8. It's great if they want to take the day off, but it's coming out of their whatever our agreement for their pay is. It's not going to be a paid holiday.
Tim, that's a great point. I should have demanded that my employer give me today off. I really missed an opportunity for that. I should have gotten a paid holiday. And what am I doing working before and after this show? That was a mistake on my part, and I need to ask for it off to celebrate Juneteenth.
the answer to that is entrepreneurship and self-employment. Okay. Because then you can give yourself the day off. You can fire yourself. You can give yourself vacations. And look, it works great. Like, I mean, sure, if you're not doing anything, you're not making any money, but like,
yeah, I was going to say, Tim,
concern.
Having owned my own business before, you don't take days off. Like there's a lie in that one. Like you don't take any days off. You think, oh yeah, I'm going to be able to take all the time off I want. Wrong. That is not true. That is.
Yeah, it comes down to the issue of whether you eat or you don't eat, and that's the deal. It's like Saturday. I got to work Saturday this week. Okay, I got to work Sunday this week. And guys, it happened as a contractor. It happened so many times to me. Like,
yeah,
losing a Saturday when you only have like 3,200 of them in your entire life got to be very frustrating. And it still is, because I still do it.
All right, so thanks so much for joining us here on A Free Solution. Again, live show. Give us a call if you want to participate in this discussion, 866-552-1009. We'll be back with more on A Free Solution in just a few minutes.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
The Finger Lakes Castle team is in its 7th decade of factory direct service to the service professional. From cleaning the ins and outs of your vehicle to keeping you on the road, Castle's got you covered. Castle makes streak-proof glass cleaner, FDA-registered sanitizers, and EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectants. Remember, when you need to keep it clean, use what the pros use. Castle. Accept no substitutes.
Castle keeps it clean. A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Oh, we got new music to bring us back in. Yeah. And our
They were saying
producer
you were going to
Bob
be
doing
jealous.
some work.
They broke it open on me yesterday, man. I love it.
All right, welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Tim O'Connor, co-hosting with me today. Again, this is going to be a regular thing on Fridays. We're hanging out together for this hour. And if you want to join the conversation too, give us a call, 585-346-3000, 585-346-3000. Or, if you're listening online, I got a number scrolling across the screen too, 866-552-1009. But Tim, you got quote trivia going on now. So
yeah,
you said
in the chat to kind of keep things going during our breaks, because I think that when we're online, they're not hearing the advertisement, which I wish that we could figure out a way to do that. Or are they hearing the advertisement?
Oh, they are on my show. They are, because
Okay.
I have it set up to do that. Like, I know you and I need to work it out. We're talking over the break. Like I got like 2 computers set up, and I got this like voice meter banana thing set up too, and then OBS, and like I got all this business going on here.
Okay. I have teenagers, so there's a possibility that I'm going to be able to put all this stuff together. They're going to be able to come down, help me out, and help me figure out what I'm trying to do. But at this point, I am just happy to hear my voice on the computer and on the radio. And I think that, guys, is a major accomplishment for this 54-year-old contractor from Central New York.
Yeah, right on. All right, so you got a quote you put out there to do it. So I don't know who said this though. We'll read the quote off air. If nominated, I shall run to Mexico. If elected, I shall fight extradition.
Guys, this guy who said this has first of all, he was kind of a liberal, whatever, but he's an absolute genius. He was a let's see if I can give you a little bit of his history. His name's Mo Udall, and he was a congressman who was very popular in the Democrat Party, and they were regularly talking about him running for higher office, which apparently he wanted nothing to do with. He was a former basketball player, and I'm trying to remember what state he served. But guys, that's just so classic. I love it.
That's great. So I love it. Yeah. So all right. So we'll go back to the main topic, but that is fun. I do like the quotes in there. So it's a cool thing.
So coming up for the next break.
Hey, there's your bonus too. If you're listening online, you'll see that type of stuff pop up. We'll show them for the breaks. And all right. So we'll keep talking about the topic at hand. Though we're talking about Juneteenth again, federal holiday, Saturday now. We'll talk about like the division thing too. And when we were chatting before the show, we talked about like, well, how is this divide the country, and then does this like integrate into that conversation with like critical race theory type of stuff too, which I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of a preview. Like I'm going to talk about that like the entire show Monday. I've been like sitting on a pile of like links forever that I need to put into a show on critical race theory, what it is, what it isn't, all that stuff. So we're not going to go like crazy into that, but like let's bridge these conversations. Tim, what's on your mind?
Yeah, well, you are going to do a deeper dive on critical race theory, and I think that critical race theory, because it's so ubiquitous, guys. I've been wanting to use that word in a sentence for a long time, but critical race theory right now is ubiquitous all over the mainstream media, all over social media. There's this constant conversation about it. I think that as we break it down into its smaller pieces, into its functional parts, and we want to talk about what critical race theory is, the first thing as a libertarian, what I want to point out is that you don't necessarily have to take this side. Like, you don't have to be for it. You don't have to be against it. There are things about it that I want to say, that I'm going to say, and I'm probably going to say them here shortly, but there's problems with it. But the government and the media constantly seek to stimulate this Munchausen's-like response, and they use things like critical race theory or Ilhan Omar's tweets or AOC's pile of gibberish when she puts it out there. Guys, let's ignore them. Talk to me and Kevin. We'll set you guys straight. We're like therapists for you right now.
No. You should not be listening to this show for therapy. You'll go nuts. All right, and sounds like we got a caller on the line too, so we'll get to that too. So Dave from Brockport.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Dave, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm a little confused, and I think this Juneteenth is agreed long overdue. But are they going to start, dividing us again with who can say it to whom? The Merry Christmas thing. Oh my gosh, can I say Happy Juneteenth to say a Jewish fellow from New York and not offend them? I don't understand it. Columbus Day, that always. But he was a Democrat. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where he was, and he did it with somebody else's money.
That's great, Dave.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. But yeah, no, it's long overdue. But please don't take offense if your ancestors weren't slaves, and I say Happy Juneteenth to you.
Yeah, no, it's something to celebrate for everybody.
Yeah,
right.
Right, exactly. It was a stain. It was wrong, and I don't think anybody, with maybe the exception of David Duke, would have a problem saying that. And so, what's the big deal? We're one. We fought white, black, whatever to end it.
Dave, I just want to say, it sounds like you've stepped outside of this duopolistic narrative. And man, congratulations on that. So your comments are welcome. I agree with you. Why wasn't it a holiday? Because we preserve issues to argue over. And yeah, let's just celebrate it this weekend. Do our best. Reach out to a friend and say Happy Juneteenth. Why not?
Yeah, it's no offense taken. But let's say Jewish fella says Happy Yom Kippur to me, and I'm not Jewish, I'm not going to be offended. I'm going to say thanks. Welcome you to the fold. In fact, I used to go to Seder dinners on Passover with a Jewish friend for years. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's I go to a Passover dinner, and I do Hanukkah celebration every year too with my Jewish friends, and then it's a nice thing to celebrate other people's cultures and to recognize the point of those holidays too. But I think we do the same thing with Juneteenth. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna if it makes sense to run bar specials on that. We'll see if it turns into one of those holidays. But
that would be great. I'm vote in favor.
As somebody will capitalize on it. There's marketers out there that'll turn it into whatever.
Yeah, I'm in favor of having bar specials for Juneteenth. I mean, I don't go out there as much as I used to when I was younger. When I was younger, I was a restaurant guy, bar guy, so I was out pretty regular. But yeah, make some bar specials. Maybe I go out for them. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Sure, do something, do anything. Give me 50% off. I don't care. All right, guys, keep up the good work. Enjoy the show.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for the call, Dave. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's how you'll know. That's when holidays have really made it, when it starts to get to the St. Patrick's Day level, or there's going to be a bunch of mattress specials, a bunch of grilling specials too. Will Phillips says it'll be a great grilling holiday. Yeah, it'll probably be something like that. Don't forget the reason for it too. It's important to think about the reason, what the celebration, why is it there? But
yeah, Memorial Day is a great one, guys, where we kind of lose the actual issue behind it. Okay. And I think that's important. Enjoy the long Will's on the enjoy the long weekend. Yeah. Kamala Harris said, enjoy the long weekend. And it felt a little tone deaf. She posted out a bunch of other tweets. I try hard not to hate anybody, but I get a little bit disenfranchised by the messaging coming out of all of our national elected figures for the most part. But yeah, it's near the beginning of the summer. Why not have an extended weekend? Enjoy the long holiday. But guys, remember what it's about. Remember what Memorial Day is about. Those things are important.
Yeah. No, because that's a good one. Like Memorial Day, it's not just about grilling. It's just remembering the sacrifices people have made, and both for the wars that have helped defend freedom, and for the wars that haven't too, for the wars that our government shouldn't have gotten us in, and remembering kind of both sides of that. And then with Juneteenth too, remember what it's about too. It's a good thing, and yeah, I'm happy to say Happy Juneteenth to anyone. It's a good thing, a good celebration of a moment of enormous progress in American society that was good. And I mean progress in the actual progress, not the nonsense progressive stuff that ends up getting out there.
Yeah. Hey, so I do this thing I want people to think about. You can hold what the mainstream media and what some of our politicians would want to be competing concepts in your brain. But Memorial Day is a perfect illustration. You can honor the sacrifice that young men, young women, and families have made to defend freedom, and absolutely be disgusted by the fact that we've been in wars that we did not belong in, that violence has been done in our name, that we occasionally are drone striking and dropping bombs with the world's policemen. All of those things can be held in your brain concurrently. There's no conflict there.
Yeah. All right. Now, great point, Tim. All right. So we're heading to break now. Again, thanks for listening to us on A Free Solution. Give us a call if you want to participate. 866-552-1009. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be back in just a few.
Now it's Dan Bongino, weekday afternoons. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll have some passing showers. Could be a thundery downpour or two. Temps tonight staying much warmer. Very humid out there. Upper 60s near 70 on Saturday. Sun and clouds, warm and muggy. Chance of a thundery downpour in the afternoon. Looking ahead to Sunday, Father's Day. Partly sunny. Slight chance of a shower, but most of the day looks nice. Temperatures in the 70s. I'm Rich Canilia, WYSL.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Because your future is worth it. MGM Associates Insurance, proudly serving the region since 1984. MGM can meet your coverage needs, ranging from home, condo, and auto, all the way to specialized policies for business, workers' comp, to limo and taxi insurance, and coverage for tech professionals like IT specialists. They can also help lead you through the confusing maze in the new world of health insurance coverage and options. MGM Associates is large enough to serve you, but small enough to care so you don't have to wait in line on some 800 number to get prompt personal attention. MGM Associates is the only winner of the National Best Practices Award 5 times in a row. MGM is proud to support veterans groups including Heroes Home Advantage. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, meet the professionals at MGM Associates Insurance, locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield, 381-7008. Or mgminsure.com, an associate of Ontario Insurance Company, 28 Canandaigua Street in Shortsville.
Celebrate summer weather at Victor Chevrolet, where it's easy to save and fun to drive your brand new Chevy. Find a change of scene and fresh air in your 2021 Equinox all-wheel drive LS. Lease it for just $270 a month for 39 months. Or enjoy the versatility of a tough and roomy 2021 Trailblazer LS front-wheel drive. Lease for only $179 a month for 39 months. Or haul plenty of people and cargo in your 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Double Cab Pickup. Lease it for just $379 a month for 39 months. All these deals include all applicable factory rebates, incentives, and discounts. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents for each additional mile. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment, tax, acquisition, bank, and DMV fees due at signing for all leases. Lessee responsible for repair and maintenance. Security deposit is waived. Must have existing lease and household. Tier 1 credit approval required. All deals end 6/30/2021. Victor Chevrolet needs your trade. Find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor. Visit victorchevrolet.com.
Looking for something meaningful to do? As a Camp Good Days volunteer, you'll work with children and adults who will inspire you. Just listen to what one volunteer says about her experience.
I get a lot more out of camp than these kids. All I have to do is sit back and look around at the end of the week. The perseverance and just the strength that these children have. It's just such an inspiration in my life. I learned so much and it gives me strength. Really puts life into perspective for me.
Learn more about many volunteer opportunities at campgooddays.org.
Dear Ray, letting you know your team was amazing. Your scheduling to installation, Isaac made it easy. We really appreciate
the peace of mind that Isaac provides. Hearing from satisfied clients is so important at Isaac. Like this one. Highly recommend Isaac. New AC unit working flawlessly. This spring, get the peace of mind that you'll be cool when the summer heats up. Right now, get a Lennox air conditioner with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Isaac makes it easy. Visit isaachheating.com today.
Tom Walls uses a glass pie plate to press out every cheeseburger one by one. We don't cut corners. I'm Riley from Avon Tom Walls. Stop in and let me cook you the best cheeseburger of your life.
Tom Walls. Flower City Collision in Henrietta is trusted by numerous corporate fleets. Properly insured and registered in New York, Flower City Collision specializes in working with insurance companies on your behalf. Get it done right. Visit flowercitycollision.com.
A free solution.
All right, welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here live on WYSL until 1 p.m., which means that you, the listeners, can call in, participate in the discussion if you wish. 866-552-1009. That's 866-552-1009. Or if you prefer, 585-346-3000. Whichever you want. It's up to you. Shout out online to our friends listening over at WACK out in Newark and WENI, the Patriot, down in the Southern Tier, and our friends listening online too. Thank you all for being here today. Appreciate you. All right, so last segment we're again, thanks for the call, Dave. Appreciate it. There's some good points you brought up there, and we started talking about critical race theory. We're not going to go too into it today. Like I said, I'm gonna do a deep dive into that Monday. Just real quick preview on that. I'm gonna kind of go over like what it is, like as like an academic subject, like what's the academic, how it's used nowadays, how the media talks about it, how political activists talk about it. What are any good points that it makes? What are its methodologies? Where are the dangers in kind of the spread and use of critical race theory from public schools to colleges to the actual legal space. So I'm going to talk about all that stuff. I'm going to pack that into 44 minutes of show. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss that.
First
Monday.
of all, it's a way bigger subject than 44 minutes, man. And if
it totally is.
But one issue that I just want to throw out there, two issues actually. One is that we regularly confuse and conflate the terms racism, bigotry, and then we pass along the responsibility for racism and or bigotry. And there's a piece of CRT that I feel deliberately conflates those issues. That's number one. Number two, education is a local issue. The reason why your local school boards are examining adding CRT to the curriculum right now is the perverse economics of the federal grant system, whether you like, okay, so I called it perverse. That may or may not be perfect, but I don't care. I'm imperfect.
No, you're right. Don't pull your punches.
I will never be perfect. I'm not politically correct, but I try pretty hard to be nice to everybody. So there's this money available to add CRT to your curriculum. That's why they're debating it. There may be some valid issues. I hope we get into, maybe I'll call in Monday if you're totally messing things up and you and I can argue over it or something like that.
Tim,
I don't know.
Someone will call in. I promise you, someone's going to call in. It's fine. You go ahead and call in too. It's good. But I'll also kind of talk about like critical race theory versus like anti-racism versus like actual understanding of problems with the government, because I said there are some things in like the anti-critical race theory legislations are like, wait, you can't, we do need to talk about this actual problem caused by government here. And I don't, and also, by the way, spoiler, like my conclusion is going to be, we should get the government out of education, but like, who's going to listen to me, the crazy libertarian, right? Like, look, maybe we could just do that. Maybe we just determine our own education paths. I don't know. That's what I thought.
That is a free solutions. Like, I mean, that's what we're doing here. That's a free solution. Get the government, especially the federal government, away from this system of granting ideas. They grant money, and then guys, the grant's like a one-time grant. You're forced to keep this on your books. It costs your communities money. I don't think that CRT should be banned, guys. I'm not impressed with banning anything. Banning things sometimes adds this layer of legitimacy to them that is not necessarily what we want. So let's have these conversations. We don't ban books for a reason. We don't ban theories for a reason. So let's all just take a deep breath and think it through and have a real couple of conversations about what critical race theory might in fact mean to everyone.
Yeah. So I tell you what you can do is you can list the show Monday. Again, we're gonna talk about critical race theory, and then if I'm wrong, you can yell at me next Friday, after the listeners of these stations get the opportunity to yell at me if I'm wrong about stuff. But I assume I'm not going to be wrong about anything. Like
you honestly. What I like about you and I see very much eye to eye on so many things. That's wonderful. But there are going to be things that we disagree about. Though, as libertarians, what are we going to do? Be like, yeah, well, good luck having the power to change that, buddy.
Well, just complain about it on the radio. But maybe there's some folks who are connected to folks who in power listening to this show, and maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, Kevin and Tim, they got it right. Yeah, right. I'm gonna introduce some legislation to abolish the Department of Education at the federal level. I'm talking to you, Joe Morelli. Get on it, man.
Get rid of it. And while you guys are at it, get rid of the Jones Act. Okay. I don't know if you guys pay attention to my site, but I did a show, me and Rich Pertel and a couple other crazy libertarians with Colin Grabo of the Cato Institute. And guys, the Jones Act it's garbage, man. It's killing our shipping industry. It's punishing people, literally punishing people in Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Alaska, because of this requirement that a U.S. flagged, U.S. owned ship that's 100 years old carries the necessary supplies to these places. Man, it's like 40%. They're paying 40%, not just a tariff, but in expenses on extra expenses on their necessary goods and services, things like natural gas, things like food. These things are getting taxed, overcharged, and manipulated to enrich. Guys, I think I want to put a theory out there. Some of these laws are in place to fill campaign coffers of politicians. I just want to put it out there. People think about it. That's all.
Well, there's a name for that. Regulatory capture. It's a whole concept. Build regulations so you, the corporations, can get more money, and then you donate more to politicians to make sure you get more of those regulations. And then there was like, oh, this is for jobs, or this is for safety, or whatever. And then only a handful of companies can actually comply with those. Smaller companies go away. They make more money. Us, the American people, pay more for that. It's everywhere. Jones Act, with sugar taxes, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, Jones Act is one of the worst. And what's terrible too is the politicians know it doesn't work, because what happens every time there's like any sort of disaster, right? The pipeline disaster that happened recently, the hurricanes down in Puerto Rico, they waived the Jones Act because it gets too expensive to get stuff in quickly and to have American ships deliver it. So they waived the Jones Act.
Yeah.
Okay. So why not
don't bring it back, man? Don't bring it back. It obviously was creating a problem. I got a funny story about it if you want to hear this. I go
ahead. We're on this tangent. Let's just embrace it, man.
Let's just get. All right. So Trump was all set to sign. And guys, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, so relax. Like libertarians, relax. But conservatives understand. Trump was all ready to sign an executive order lifting the Jones Act, counteracting the Jones Act, and the two Alaskan Republican senators went into his office, and he changed his mind, moved right away from that issue. Guys, that's embarrassing, man. He did some good things with his executive orders. I don't like executive orders. I want legislative action. I want legislative accountability and responsibility. But here he was ready to do damage to the Jones Act, and he got dissuaded by the Republican senators from Alaska.
Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be advantageous for Alaska to be able to get shipping from anywhere too.
It would be advantageous for the people of Alaska to be able to get shipping from anywhere. And guys, the shipping would still be from a U.S. owned place to a U.S. receiver. Okay. What the problem is that the boats that the Jones Act requires them to use are outdated, expensive, and I think under-maintained. I mean, guys, just read some stuff about the Jones Act. It's incredible what it's done to our shipping industry. Incredible. It's devastated it.
Yeah, it's a mess. Listen, I know this is a total tangent. Like we didn't plan to talk about this, but Tim's totally right on this one though. Like Jones Act is awful in any, like that's one of the things, like the things that I was hoping Trump would do. It's like he's a wild card. He doesn't have all these like kind of political baggage that he's brought in of supporting the Jones Act or whatever over time, and he could have just jumped in and be like, nope, forget it. I don't even care. I'm just gonna stop this right now. And it's great. That's what I wanted sometimes. Like I wanted them to do that with the wars. And instead we're still in Afghanistan, and maybe we'll get out in September. We'll see. We're supposed to get out in May. Now we're in September. What we planned to talk about this segment, but totally didn't get to, was the House voting to repeal the 2002 AUMF, the Authorization of Use of Military Force. That's what I was going to talk about. Maybe I'll talk about that next week or something.
Yeah, because I was totally unprepared to talk about that, so I had to take it somewhere where I was ready to go.
Timmy, you just got to wing it, man. Like all right. So anyway, we're out of time for this segment, though. So thanks so much for listening today to A Free Solution. When we come back, we're going to do Fake News Friday. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution, and it is Fake News Friday. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host, with Tim O'Connor, co-host. We got a couple Fake News Friday items to go. So I'm gonna go first because I feel like it's topical to much of the rest of the show, and I want you to tell me, is this a real headline or a fake headline?
Lay it on me.
Headline: The racist legacy many birds carry.
Okay, so I actually think that is a real headline, and I'm absolutely terrified by the implications of it. Like, how do we get there?
By birds being racist, obviously, Tim.
Birds aren't even real, man. Like, I'm a libertarian. I don't think birds are real. So there's no way that birds can be racist. They're fake. Wait, they're part of the government. The government has the power to enforce racism. So maybe, in fact, birds are racist. I don't know.
So listen, guys, the government made the birds, the bird drones that you see all over, and the government made them racist. Critical race theory tells me that the racist bird drones are what we really have to deal with.
Now, do the racist bird drones carry any kind of weapons? Like, I don't know. I don't want to go too far out.
Hey, listen, the FBI is going to shut down our show if we keep going, Tim. We gotta cut that off, man.
Easy now. Easy. It's a joke, guys. These things are all jokes. Birds are real. I think
birds are totally real, guys.
I mean, I've experienced that some birds are, in fact, regardless of what we say, they are in fact real, tasty, and delicious. So some birds are real. I don't know that all the birds are real, though.
I don't know. You have to start examining the birds. It's not going to look crazy at all. It's fine. Just do your thing, guys. All right. So that is a real Washington Post headline. Like, I saw this, through my newsfeed the other day. I was like, that's someone's making it up. They're not calling birds racist. Basically, all they're saying, the whole article is about how some birds are like named after racist people. That's their whole thing. They're like, some guy who was like, owned slaves in the South, and now he has a bird named after him. We call it like this thing. So they're like, oh, do we rename this bird now? Like, I guess, the Audubon Society, the guy who like founded that, he was an anti-abolitionist too. They're like, oh, do we rename this because do we cancel this guy because he was kind of a jerk this time? Do we rename these birds that all the birders know? Because I mean, you can always call them the Latin name, I guess. That's always an option. But like they say like there's one of them, the Bachman sparrow, named after a racist guy.
Yeah, so like there's a valid point in there, I guess. It's so hard. Like, you hear somebody saying bird names are racist, and you're just like, oh my God, here we go again. But then if you start digesting it, you're kind of like, it's almost something to that. Like, the guy, we should talk about slavery. We should talk about, our history regularly. We should re-examine ourselves for cultural biases. All of those things are true. In conclusion, I just want to say this: bird watching is a two-way street. That you're watching them, they're watching
back to this again. Okay, so we need to come up with new bird names. You show me the picture of the bird, I will rename it for you. Like there's the bird in the article. I'll share that too. It's the Jamieson's firefinch. He apparently bought slaves. His jerk. Just I don't know. Let's call it like the, red pointy bird. I don't know. Like, we'll come up with something.
We'll try to work, little libertarian stuff into it. Like,
yeah. So that's that. There's the Liberty bird.
Yeah.
That there's the taxation is theft bird.
Oh, I like that.
That's the we hate roads bird. That's.
Okay, so forgive me, but I think there's a bird called like the beak mouse tit or something like that. Taxation is theft. And so we've already got it. There's our libertarian symbol right there.
Putting it all together.
All right.
Anywho, all right. So enough about birds for now. We're not going to make this whole segment about birds. Yes. What's your fake news item?
All right.
Or
so
fake
check
or real
this
news?
out. You're going to have to tell me whether it's fake news or not. But larger than a football field and growing, a sinkhole has swallowed 1 house, 2 dogs, 4 cats, 17 birds, and it's still growing.
Oh, sinkholes happen all the time, right? It's got to be happening like a water deprived place, California, Mexico. It's a big issue in Mexico City. So I'm gonna say it's real. Is that something happening?
It's real. It's slightly exaggerated. All right. So it's larger than a football field and growing. A sinkhole and man, you were right on top of it. It's in Mexico. It's already swallowed a house, 2 dogs, and 2 dogs had to be rescued. Like, it didn't actually, I guess, as I read the article, it didn't actually consume the dogs, which I guess would have been really awkward. But But so it is a true story. It's almost 500 feet across. And you can see that there's other stuff about ready to fall in. I got this great picture. It's an NPR link. And there's certain like farm processing facility about ready to drop in as well. The house has already been eaten. And you can see it's in the middle of a farm. Luckily for them, that this doesn't appear to be a water deprived area, because at the bottom of the sinkhole, there is a whole bunch of water.
Well, it's crazy because what's happening in like place like Mexico City specifically is like it's built on like an old like lake bed, right? Like there used to be a bunch of water drain in there, and then they paved over the whole thing with concrete, and now like the water has nowhere to go. It can't like go down, so like it ends up going below the concrete, hollowing out big caverns. And then what happens when you have a whole bunch of asphalt and there's nothing to support it underneath? Falls right in.
You get a lake, a mini lake right there. I mean, you get a sinkhole, right? It built out. Because so there's been some shoddy business building practices all over the world forever. Like New York City, about half of it's built on like what are old garbage dumps, and supposedly they shored them up appropriately and they pounded piers down through. But New York City itself, I think, I honestly think it was Larry Sharp said 30-40% of the landmass of New York City is actually old accumulated garbage that's been manipulated into supposedly solid structures underneath. I don't know.
No, well, if the garbage is solid, I'd live on garbage. I mean, is that why New York City smells like that? I'm sorry, New York City fans. I'm sorry. It's just, guys, this time of year, you put your garbage on the sidewalk. It's ridiculous. It smells terrible. What's wrong with you?
With it.
Just do something else with it.
Being a rural upstate New Yorker, I have a special, while I respect people that live in New York City, I have a special dislike for the resource accumulation and acquirement that they enact in my area. And they also have, they've co-opted 5 towns in the county next to me, right? And they buried them underneath water, and they built a dam so that they have water flowing to the city. And as a result of that, they are supposed to return services to Delaware County. And the problem with that is that the services they return are enforcement of their watershed regulations, and sometimes they build like water treatment facilities, and they give money to like puppies and kittens, I think, or something along that lines.
Oh, I mean, they do that up here too. So like there's a dump where New York City puts a lot of their trash out in Fairport. And they have what is actually a fairly nice park near that. Yeah. But also if you're downwind from the dump where New York City brings a whole bunch of its trash, well, you're going to smell that some days. And that's
Cayuga
not
County's
great.
Got the same problem. Cayuga County's got the same problem.
Yeah.
It
is a nice park though. I actually do like the park. The
roads are nice in Cayuga County. I just want to be clear. That's from the dump being built there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a crazy thing. All right. So I think we only have like a minute left. Maybe I saved my, I have one more for you, but I'm going to save it for next week. Cause I think it's still going to be an ongoing issue. We're going to have that, but thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. Again, the new schedule is Mondays. It's going to be my like kind of heavy research show. Tuesdays, Larry Sharp. Wednesdays, I'm going to try to have a guest on the show. Thursday, Tim O'Connor. Yeah. Friday, both Tim and I, both of us.
Beautiful.
Trying to do Fake News Friday every Friday too, because now I have someone to talk with on Fridays instead of me just going on my own.
Hey guys, before we close, thanks to everyone that's reached out to me and gave me encouragement for yesterday. There was a moment there where adrenaline was flowing through my system. I literally thought my brain was going to shut down. So it just was awful. So people reached out to me, and guys, I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to the next show. And of course, I'm looking forward to next Friday with Kevin Wilson. This has been a blast as always.
Right on. Well, thanks for listening today, everyone, to A Free Solution. We'll be back next week. Have a wonderful weekend.
The Livingston County Department of Health is offering COVID